Can you expand what you mean by episteme if you do?
Sure. Episteme, well, is just how we know what we know, but it's certain values about sort of that affect your worldview and affect everything else downstream of it, right? So when it comes to, if you want to see the Western episteme like represented in a very crude but honest way, read what's his face, the guy who got Salman Rushdie. It's not his books, but he has an essay, and he like has this stupid rant that he goes on where he says that like this, West is about eating bacon and short skirts and kissing in public and stuff like that. Like he actually is extreme, like the mask is off completely, and he's like basically talking about when we talk about fighting for freedom, it's like this is what we're talking about. Like no true Westerner would be so impolite to say those things out loud, but he kind of took the mask off and showed that this is really kind of what it's about, right? This idea of, let's say, bodily autonomy, right? Thinking that I own myself in an absolute way, right? That's part of the Western episteme. Thus, because I own myself absolutely, I get to do whatever I want with myself. So now I have the right to express every desire that comes about inside of me. And in fact, my sort of satisfaction in life depends upon my exercising and realizing and actualizing that desire, forming an identity around those desires. All that stuff comes from the Western episteme. You own your body is the site of your desires are there for you. You have to act on them.
Central to your personhood.
Yeah, it is your personhood really, because they don't believe in a soul really, they recognize that some people believe that there's a soul, but that's not the real hard self, right? Like someone said hard history in our conference, like hard materialism. The real self is your body, your desires, your consciousness, whatever. And then you might have some beliefs and some cultural traditions, but that's just like extra. So that's the Western episteme, among other things. And so, Islamic episteme is entirely opposed to that. You don't own yourself, at least not absolutely. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you yourself as a gift. And so, because it recognizes that gift exchange, there are strings attached, right? You can't do with it whatever you want. There's expectations as to how you're supposed to carry yourself. What are your aspirations in life? Obedience, fidelity, right? Gratitude. These are things that are baked into the relationship of the Islamic episteme as believing that Allah gave you, right? Totally different orientation towards life. And then everything that's downstream of that, how are we supposed to be in this world? We recognize ourselves as created beings and that have been placed here in a position of stewardship, khilafa, right? And so that changes our, instead of viewing, if I'm a material being that needs a certain amount of calories every day and all of you're my competitor, then I have to get mine. Scarcity mindset, competition, survival of the fittest, stuff like that. There's all these things that it sets off. Whereas if I believe that this is, a gift and I'm a steward, then my relationship to you is one of care, is one of concern, is one of compassion, right? Even if we disagree, let's say, if there was like a non-Muslim here, it's like I might hate their decisions and hate their ideology and hate their guts, but I still want good for them. I want them to be guided. That's a relationship of stewardship because Allah put me here to care and take care of everybody, exactly. So, everything's different. Everything's different.